Hello everyone, this is the Java Programmer, and today I want to start a new series talking about Elasticsearch. And in my job I have to deal with multiple Elasticsearch clusters, and there is not a good way to manage those clusters. And so I want to start a new series here where we create a Elasticsearch cluster command line client written in Java. And so this is the first in a number of videos where we will be creating a command line client. And so if you're not familiar with Elasticsearch, Elasticsearch is used for searching primarily. It's a document store, and it runs on Lucene as the underneath driving engine. There's several other services that are run on top of Lucene. One is Solar, ElasticSearch, and there's some others. I think even though Neo4j is a graph database, I believe that still runs on Lucene, and you can use Lucene directly. So Lucene is a document store, a reverse index, however you want to think about it. But today, Elasticsearch provides essentially Lucene in a cluster. And so we want to write a command line client that can be used to manage that cluster. So I'm going to draw a little bit here on what we're going to do for this project. And so first off, as a command line, you have commands that come in. So we have to parse what's typed at the command line. We are going to use a parser called Antler, which is probably overkill for parsing simple commands, but I want to bring that experience of how to use Antler, how to create a grammar to this project. I personally like grammars and creating my own languages, and so I'm going to use Antler to parse the command line. So we're effectively going to take these commands and run them into Antler, and Antler is going to give us these Java objects. So the idea is that we'll have a base command, which may be like index or snapshot or repository, and then there may be a subcommand off of there. So subcommand would be something like repository list or repository delete or index create. So you have your primary command, your secondary command, and then after the subcommand, you're going to have, you could call it parameters, params, or options. Typically a command line client, these are all called options that you pass in. And the other piece to this project is that we want to make this actually a executable that you can run on the command line. And you can do that with Java and packaging the jar file into a executable shell script. And so we're going to go through that process as well. So this is the simple architecture. This is the command line. So we're going to take the command line, run it through Antler to parse it for us. We're going to develop these commands, subcommands, and the options that get run. So first off, we need to start with a Java project. And so I'm going to use Maven to create that project. There's a Maven quick start. And this would be the command that is used. It's Maven. We're going to generate, here's the group ID, and here's the artifact ID, the name of the project, and we're going to use the quick start, which basically just gives us a very simple file. So when we run this, we're going to get a directory. It's going to ask for some options here. I want to call this 1.0. 1.0 snapshot's good. That's my package. And just like that, we have our project, and we got a POM file and a source. So I need to change a few things in here. So if we look at our POM file, we see that there's only very few dependencies at the moment, just JUnit. It's a very simple POM file. We're going to be filling this out later. But anyway, so we have a POM file, and then if we go look at the source, main Java, in here, it just created the base. And I want to make another group that is the client. So we're going to create a directory, called ElasticSearch client, and we're going to move app into there. And then we're going to move that, and we're going to call it main.java. And I'm in the process of trying to learn NeoVim. I have been inspired by the Primogen to get faster at my Vim skills, and so that is what I'm going to try to do here in this project, is do all of this through Vim, or NeoVim. So here is our main application. It's just got a main method, says hello world. We're just trying to get this thing started up. Not trying to do anything fancy other than get a project off the ground. So over in test, we've got to do the same thing. Make directory, ElasticSearch client, move app test into there, and NeoVim. We're going to change the name of this as well. So package, ElasticSearch client. We're going to change the name of this because we changed the name of the file. I guess we need public. And I don't like the way that the generator formats the initial class. I like more C-style formatting. I mean, I don't like the C-style formatting. More of the Java formatting is what I'm familiar with. So we got test app, I got main. All right, that all looks good. Okay. And we've got to move that to main.test. All right, let's see if we can get this thing to package. So Maven clean package and see what we get. And if you notice, we got some warnings in our packaging talking about Java 8, 1.8, which we don't want to use 1.8. Also, we have the file encoding. So file encoding is not UTF-8. So we want to switch that. And we do that in the POM file. And we need to add a properties section into our POM file. And the properties section, I'm just grab it from another file that I'm using. Properties looks like this. So we set the compiler. In our case, we're not going to use Java 11, we're going to use Java 21. Don't need XML because we're not in a web app. And we set the source encoding to UTF-8. So now if we go and try to build this again, we get no more warnings. And we actually get a jar file. And so if we say java-jar, our jar file, helps if I get my parameters correct here, we see that it says there's no manifest in the jar file. So we want to set up a couple things here. I like using make to build my stuff. And so because there's been no defined main class, we have to tell Java how we want to run the main class. So there's another command here. We can run this directly, and it's going to look like this. So we're saying maven exec, here's our main class, and let's run it. We should get an output of hello world. Great. So we do compile, and our program runs. So we are off to a pretty good start. So let's just make a makefile, and in here we're going to do a couple things. So we're going to have all. So when you just type make, you're going to get it's going to build everything and build and package, and then we're going to put also run command in here, and we want to build out a executable file so that we can run this like a command. So I am not using NeoVim. I've got to get in the habit of using NeoVim. Okay, let's try this again. So this is going to be target, and then we're going to put this into ESCLI, and then change mod plus X ESCLI. So what this is going to do is going to take a header template. We don't have that file yet. We're going to create that in a minute. It's going to take this jar file and it's going to put it into an executable, and that executable will actually be able to run on the command line. So for right now, let's create the header template. So NeoVim header dash template, and in here we're going to tell this that you are a shell script. But what you're going to do is you're going to exec java dash jar the jar file that we're going to bring into here, which is going to be our well, we'll look at this file in a second, and the parameters. All right, so that's what we need for the header. So if we do a make, build our package up our jar file, and then we're going to take the header and we're going to cat it with this guy, and we're going to put it into ES client. So if we look at ES client, here is the binary of our file, and then we exec it. So if we say that I get my parameters right, it should be $0, not £0. All right. The joys of doing this stuff live. Okay, so let's make it again. // client. Okay, so it says we don't have a main manifest attribute, and so we need to define this in our POM file. So we need to add a section in here called build, and I'm going to borrow this from another project. I don't think anybody wants to see me type all this out. So the first section is going to be what we want to name it. So we're going to change the name of it. It's going to be called project.artifact.id. So it should have a smaller name. And then here, like I said, I'm just borrowing from another project. We're going to say, ElasticSearch CLI.main. That was our main class. So that is that tells the jar plugin, okay, this is the main class for when we build our file out, and then in this next plugin, it tells it how to run it if we so want it to run. So we're going to put in all our dependencies, and that should be that. Okay. I will make all this code available on GitHub when I am finished. And it looks like I have a problem in my POM file. I think I might have, not closing plugins. Let's just double check up here. Yep. Build our jar file. It's now called with dependencies, so target with dependencies. We're going to have to change this in our make file, because that's not the name of it anymore. So let's try it one more time. Yes, client. And we have an executable binary file called ESCLI that runs our code. So in the next video, we will be putting together we'll start taking in user input and doing commands, starting the command infrastructure and getting Antler installed, and we will go from there. So thanks for watching, and you will be able to see this in the description. I will link to my repository, and you can see the tag episode 1 of this code base. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.